Engineer, working for Qlik now 5 years. That's not true because I'm former Talend, so I'm working 5 years for Talend and now for Qlik. So that's the background. We've already heard a lot of the fun stuff, now coming to the boring stuff, the talent portfolio and the capabilities we provide. And I want to start with a, hopefully you can see it, yes, with a recap. You already saw this slide. Yeah, this is the whole portfolio, the whole offering Qlik has now to bring to you. And I want to focus a little bit what Talend added to this portfolio. For example, can I take this with me? Okay, I'm speaking louder. As you can see, we do not have a red bubble around SAP, for example, because Talend already has SAP also inside, so it's not what we bring. So at the end, what Talend brings is the most important part. What you can see is the ETL. Yeah, as you heard from Gary, for example, in our cloud offering, Qlik Talend Cloud now. Yeah. It's obviously ELT focused, and Talend brings the ETL capabilities on the table. And that's because of, we are coming from the ETL, and we added very early our quality and data preparation capabilities, what I want to show you today. We also add some capabilities in this area. I talk about API creation and orchestration, but this is too technical. Okay, this will be feedback.
Throw it away. Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. Yes, another mic. Okay, just a recap. Before I starting my presentation or my demo, it's more a demo, I will start with a short story. Has nothing to do with my demo, but I like the story. So at the end, it's a story about outer space, and it's a true story. So yeah, it's a real story. And in 1999, NASA wants to send a probe to the Mars. The reason behind this was they want to investigate the climate on this planet, and at the end, I will give a spoiler, the probe doesn't make it to the Mars, it crashed. The reason behind, or why this probe has crashed, is because the NASA has worked with 2 software development teams, one from the US, one from Europe, working for NASA. And what they've done is, this is a crash, what they've done is the American work with the American standard, so they calculate in pounds, and the European are calculating in Newton. And this leads to a failure in the software, and the probe crashed. And the NASA has started to set up a data quality initiative inside the NASA to set up data quality, data governance to avoid this mistake, because I think this is quite expensive mistake. So this was my story. I like it. So what I want to show you today, don't worry, there are not much slides. So I will start with the Talend data management and catalog initiative regarding data quality. There are several steps you have to think about in your governance and quality. And the first step is normally the observability. So you have to find out, do I have data quality issues? Where do I have it? Whatever. Then we come to the data management. I want to show you how to gather this data with the help of Talend, for example, showing you also our studio. And then I will switch the role and will act like a business guy, acting and try to find out where's data, how it's described, so going to the catalog and showing you these capabilities. And at the end I will show you some ways, because there are a lot of ways to clean up the data. Okay? With the observability. So here you can see a Qlik dashboard. So yes, we can integrate with Qlik. For sure, we are one company now. What you can see here is a typical data quality. score dashboard built in Qlik based on data provided by our other tools. And sorry for German and English mix, but I think the reason behind this is clear. You can see the overall quality score. You can see the data quality dimensions. I do not want to go too deep into data quality, but we have 6 dimensions you have to think about: timeless, completeness, uniqueness, and so on. You can see how your quality score changed over time. And because this is a, I would say, normal Qlik dashboard, you can do all the stuff what you can do in a Qlik dashboard to focus on specific areas. In this area, for example, I focus on the completeness and can see how many rows are completed, which are on failure. What you also can do, I want to remove this one here. Hopefully I can do it. Normally, I don't know how, because I'm not a Qlik guy. Hello. Remove it. Thank you. We can also connect the Qlik dashboard to the database, the data warehouse behind, and then you can dig into the data and see what happens there. This is the next here, what you can see, and here also I can go to my data quality dimensions and go to correctness, for example, and then you can see, okay, I have some data here provided, and there's an age around about 1, so it does not make sense for customers normally. So here I can see how is my data quality overall, having a dashboard, and you can set it up that this will be actual, scheduled, all this stuff with the help of Qlik. In the past we had some, you will see it. Qlik is much better, to be honest. Okay. Going here, we saw how you can look at your data quality. In this case with Qlik Sense. You can use the dashboard by you can only use Qlik Sense. So, starting with data management now. So for this I will start the Talend Studio. I want to say 1, 2, 3 sentences about the studio. This is a client you have to install on your development environment, laptops like me here, for the developers. So mainly focused for more technical people, and we're starting normally with the data integration specialist, something like that. But this whole client has much more to offer, especially when we come to the observability and how the data is delivered and data quality. But first start with the studio. Is anybody here knows the studio or did not? Two. Okay, I have to explain it. Okay, first of all you can see the new look and feel. Okay, no Talend fans here. This was released last month, I think, from the Connect. We have a new look and feel. It's more Qlik branded now, and previously it was really old. It looks like Windows 3.11 or whatever. Okay, what you have on the left side is your data integration jobs. I hate this term because for me these are data management jobs. You can do more than typical data integration. So we have our standard jobs on the left side. So this is the repository. It's Git backup, so you can have source control, you have diffs, you can work collaboratively with several people on the same project. All the software development lifecycle is supported here. Then the second important part is the metadata. So here we can set up connections to our databases. We can set up all the schemas from files. A bunch of file formats are supported: SAP, REST services. We have CSV file, XML, JSON, whatever. We have connections to SaaS services like Azure Storage, Salesforce, Azure in generally. We have big data connections for Hadoop. There was a question, I think, in the meantime, for Hadoop, for Cloudera, for I don't remember the name because it's not on the market anymore, but it was big in the past. So, in the middle we have our design area where we work and design our data management pipelines. On the right side we have our palette. So in the palette we have all of our components. Talend is a code generator and it's a no-code approach. It's a drag and drop approach. We have components which you drag into the design and then you configure your component. In the background, code will be generated and this will be executed. This is classical ETL. Fun fact, we can also generate SQL. So we can also do ELT if you want to. But we are not specialists, or was not specialists, because now as Qlik we are specialists. Hi. Okay, so how to work with it? I want to do it really fast. So normally I go to a database, I have my schema already read in, and can drag and drop. And Talend provide me with a component. Yeah, what kind of component do I want to have? In this case, I want to have an input component. I want to read data. So we are talking about integration. So let's take a CSV file. We have another component here. So when I double click on this component, we have this. Is this too small? Oh, yes. Can you read it? Otherwise, I have this cool feature. But okay. Distracting a little bit. This component, as I said, is pre-configured because it's in the metadata. You can also do it manually. Yeah? Drag in the component and do all your stuff. But in the metadata repository, the benefit is that other colleagues working with your project already have the connection informations. Yeah? You set up a connection to your development database and every developer has a connection. You do not need, if you want to. Yeah? Depends. There's SQL generated, the configuration is already done, and the same that we have for our file, yeah, where the main file was, for example, to generate the schema and how to read it, and all the stuff is pre-configured because already set up in the metadata. So now I start with the, I will say, with the integration flow. This is a component. You can search for components here by typing, or you can search in this palette. I work a little bit with Talend now for a couple of years, so I do not use this one. I'm searching. So, and I go with the tmap. This is the most important component because here all the transformations can be done. We have a tmap for XML, we have a tmap for normal, we have a tmap for ELT, whatever. Tmap is the main component, I will say. And then we can drag and drop, so right-click the main flow to this component or using this green button and connecting this. And already he realized this is a lookup, and now I have to configure my tmap. And this is done by double-click, and it's opened a new window with the tmap capabilities. I will not go too deep into here because you can do a lot. And if you are a good Java programmer, you can extend Talend Studio extremely. I have one customer, he said, there's nothing you cannot do with Talend because you can program if you want to, but you do not have to. So I'm doing a join. So hopefully this works. So connecting the IDs in this case, and then I can configure here what kind of join do I want to have. So in this case I want to have an inner join. And now I'm defining some outputs. I call this customer with an address. Customer with address. So, and then I'm still thinking, I'm normally thinking about data quality. So let's see what happens if address without customer. So I'm doing a join. I want to only have matches. What should I do with the non-matches? This is something you can start on. Yeah? Starting with your integration is still thinking about data quality. This is my approach. So, and then I build my, I would say, my new output from different schemas. So in this case, it's something like a denormalization. Okay, now we have our customer with address with all the information from two different sources. But what about the rejects I'm talking about? For this we have also a feature which calls catch inner join rejects. I do a true. And because I'm coming from an address, so I can see what kind of addresses do not have association with the customer. So I'm finished with my mapping, and then I can use another component, for example. Just a simple case, in this case I want to sort the output, and I do a right click, selecting my customer with address output, go to the sort component, and then I have to configure the sort component. Make this big, got it small. Okay. And the schema is already populated. I can select what kind of field I'm interested in. Come on, the mouse is not working. So, and this is in alphanumeric. I want to sort by last name, and I want a descending order. I'm finished here. Now I can do another component, uniqueness, whatever, what you want. But in case of time, we now go very fast to a logging component, which provides you the possibility to log all the stuff you have here into your console. So I can execute this job locally in my Talend Studio for test purpose, and then I can see what happened and log the output. And when I'm finished with development, I can disable this log and deploy it to my enterprise environment and schedule it and whatever. So in this case, I only want to log it and give it a nice name, because it's hello. Not today. Okay. Today. Customer with address, because it looks a little bit nicer in my log. And I have configured a table view. It's more human friendly. Okay, we have now the first output. What to do with the second output? So for this, we can also take a log. In this case, table view. I will rename it. You can also do it here in the view and click here. It depends on what's your workflow, how to work with it. Address without customer. And then I took my second output. So, and hopefully my database is running. I can run. He's compiling everything, generating the code, execute it, and you have your output in your log. The fun fact, the good stuff is that you also can see how many rows are processed in my development environment. You cannot see this, this is one of the questions coming, you cannot see it when it's deployed. Then we have metrics, logs, whatever, but this is for development. And when I double click here, you can see here my customer with address, and they should normally be sorted by last name, exactly. And we have here our address without customer. Make it big, there is it. So we have 4 addresses with no association. So I can now decide what to do with it. Should I delete it or whatever? Doesn't matter. Okay. This is how we work with the data management pipelines. Drag and drop and configure. And we do it the same we do for big data environment, Spark, we do it for Camel, ESB environment. So I will not go too deep into this, but the approach is always the same. Okay? Now I can ask for questions. Okay. Now we come to the fact, where is the data coming from my data quality dashboard? For this, we have another perspective. You can switch here on the top, the perspective. I close this one. And we are now in the profiling perspective. And this is, for example, for data analysts more interesting than for a data integration specialist. In this profiling perspective, you have the possibility to set up analysis for different purposes. For example, structural analysis is looking at the database. What kind of tables do I have? How many primary, secondary keys? So more the technical view on my databases. So in the cross table and table analysis, we are talking about redundancies, finding redundant values in different tables. Match analysis, very important. If you want to set up an analysis to find out, do I have duplicates? based on algorithms. So there's NLP algorithms in the background you can set up, you can check, you can run this analysis, and he tries to find out how many duplicates do I have. With a score at the end, and probability, and you get certain, uncertain, and uniques, all this stuff. This you can set up here and test and run this analysis. If you find the correct algorithm, use it in your integration flow. Just a hint. Talend set analysis, and this one is the, I would say, the quality rules you can set up based on your data. Yeah? We have basic Talend analysis where you can go to the data and then check the data and get profiling information and advanced information. And this I want to show you. For example, here is an example of an email campaign. So the marketing department want to set up an email campaign, for example. I connect to a database, I select the columns. In this case, what is interesting for me, and in this case only the email address and the last name, and then I can set and select indicators. These indicators are classical statistics, yeah, row count, null count, duplicate count, whatever. We get a little bit of advanced profiling information, summary, pattern informations, and we have also some predefined patterns you can use to check if an email address is correct. And you can, these are 100 indicators are included, and you are free to add your own. So it's extendable. So, and if you, when you're selecting your indicators, you have here in the bottom, in the analysis, the indicators which I'm selecting, and you have the possibility to also giving, I would say, a threshold. Yeah, I want to have a warning if a certain threshold is not met, for example. And this analysis I can run. And this analysis runs on the database. So it's not, we are not doing ETL, it's generating SQL and doing all this stuff. And you get the information here on the left side, you get histograms on the right side, and now you know why I'm saying we have Qlik, and you can build a nice quality dashboard because this is old. As you can see here, we have a threshold miss. The good thing is, from data analyst perspective, I can dig into the data. I can see the invalid rows, I can see the valid rows, and I can generate a job handling this. But I will not do it. So, second example, I will not run this, but this is a database we saw in our DQ dashboard. This is a Snowflake database. And our customers are selecting some indicators, a lot of indicators, as you can see, and you get also the same information. Now you have the analysis. Yeah, think about one analysis like one DQ rule or my business rule or whatever. Now we can set up reports. So this analysis is only, when I run it, but you cannot schedule it. But you can schedule reports. And this report, for example, looks like giving me all of my relevant analysis and schedule it, run it, and store the information. And the information will be firstly stored in, I don't want to show it. Okay, it will be stored in a PDF, which you can send to your departments. Not very nice, I will say, at the moment. But the cool fact is that we also provide you the possibility to connect the database. And Qlik Talend provides a schema which will be set up for reports. And these reports are evolution reports, or you can set up evolution reports so it tracks the changes over time. And this database is the base for the quality dashboard. Okay? And this reports, just to finalize it, you can build a job, generate a job to launch the report, or generate a job to alert me via mail, for example, if a threshold is not met. one of the analysis has this threshold set, which I showed you with the email, and this threshold is not met, you can set up a job which alerts the responsible person and say, here is the problem. And the launch report, this is where you can schedule it. Yeah? You can set up a schedule of all your analysis in a report and say, I want to have it daily, weekly, half a year, never. I don't know. Okay. Yes?
So practically, the analysis will be happening on the server. You generate SQL, dynamic SQL code, then send to the server, or just pull all the data and do.
No. The analysis is generated SQL and will be executed on the database.
So
You can also use analyze files. Yeah, then it loads into the memory and will be analyzed there. But at the moment, it's on the source systems. So no data is cached at this stage.
So practically, it's also an SQL code generator.
It's some kind of code generation, yes. But maybe I can show you here when I go to show me the invalid rows, then you can see that there was a select statement executed on the database, which you can also reuse if you want to.
In plus with the Java code generator, we also have the SQL code generator.
Yeah. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're coming from the ETL, but we also have the possibility to build ELT jobs. At the end, SQL is generated and executed on the target of those systems. This is also possible.
And the list of is checking of what it can be added with new requirements.
Yeah.
About different quality.
Yeah, it's extensible. Yeah. I had a customer who set up KPI rules. They do something like, I want to check if one field in one database, the last 3 letters are bigger than one field in the other database, then you can set up a custom SQL, use it as a business rule, and then you can extend it by your own need. That's possible. But we come to definition of rules and all this stuff. We'll come to this later again. Okay? Another question? I have to look at the time. I have no time. Okay. So what I wanted to show you is how to work with the studio, how to have some kind of end-to-end data management, and where the data can come from for Qlik. As I said, it's all extensible. Yeah? We have customers using our DQMA. This schema will be generated for you with the reports results. And you can extend this and adding your own integration jobs with special checks, for example, writing into this database and having it also already presented in your Qlik dashboard. So it's nothing you can be fixed to. So now I want to switch the persona and go to, I will say, our data catalog. Hopefully I'm not logged out and I'm out. Perfect. As normal. Our data catalog. So don't think about data integration now. I'm a user. In the organization, I want to look for some data. In this case, for example, customer data. So I can see this is a welcome screen. This is all configurable. Yeah? We talk about dashboards and worksheets and all the stuff. These are the terms inside of the catalog where you can build dashboards. In this case, we have one dashboard. It's called the enterprise architecture, because the data catalog is a metadata management system. So it's harvesting, gathering all the metadata of your source, target, BI tools, ETL jobs in between, all the stuff is harvesting this and tries to set up, I will say, an architecture where you can have a lineage, where you have impact analysis, and on top you have the business glossary, where you can connect your business terms with the technical metadata to describe data. Main example, SAP. I don't know who is using SAP, but internally there are cryptical names, nobody knows it. Now we have a business glossary on top and can say this table means this in my company, whatever. What you can see here is the end result after setting up the whole infrastructure. We have several kind of databases here on the operational side. We have ETL jobs in the middle. We have our data warehouse on the right side. We have BI tools. In this case, it's, I think, Tableau and Qlik. No, it's only Qlik. They changed it. Okay, in the past we had Tableau. And we have our cataloging, so our business glossary. So, but from a business point of view, when I'm a user in one kind of department, this is too complicated. Yeah, I don't care. So normally I start with a search. So we have a search. When I click here on search, you can see it opens a search dialog, and this is a really powerful search like Google, yeah, where you can have a faceted search, where you can search for semantic types, for physical names. So everything the catalog has harvested and stored internally is searchable. And I can click here and say I want to search for customer. So now I'm getting everything. I'm getting customer table. I get a term from a business glossary, query table, dimensional tables. So everything what was harvested here, so for example, this is a talent job harvested, MySQL input, there's a customer name in that, so everything is searchable. And at the end, also too complicated. So for me, I want to add some columns and say, I want to say, okay, I want to see updated by. So I want to see the type. So, and now you can see I have a little bit more information. So I can see who was last steward or responsible person, updated this term or this database or whatever. I can see what kind of type do I have. And because for me, I do not want to see the technical assets, so I'm just focusing on term. And now I can see that only terms will be returned. And at the end, I want to add some filters also. And I want to add a filter for labels, and we have a customer label predefined. You can add your own labels if you want to. So, and now my search is stringed. And I have the results I'm looking for, because I want to see customer information. What does a customer mean in my company? What you also can see here on the left side is you can see what kind of terms are certified, liked, where are comments, and where are issues. Yeah? We have some curation capabilities which you can say if someone is looking on a business term and say this is not accurate, please change it. He can leave a comment, can like it, certify it, whatever. And the second thing I want to mention here is this metadata query language. It's SQL-like language, which generates out of what I've done here, and you can store this search. So I can also save this search here, save as a worksheet, and provide this for my sales team, that they only get customer information. So everything is searchable, and every search is storable, and then you can build up specific worksheets, dashboards for specific organizations. So now let's dig into this term here. We can see this is a business glossary. Yeah? Our business glossary, we have a description, what does a customer mean? We have a long description. We can see on the right side there's a workflow enabled, so I cannot change this term. If I want to change it, I can request edit. I can change it. Someone has to review it, has to give a thumb up and then change it. We have labels. You can see some associations here, and we have attributes, which you can add your own attributes if you want to. So for example, we have customers who want to see KPIs in there. They want to have the data quality score results in the catalog, in the business terms, and see that you can add it. It's not a problem. You can see who is a workflow assigner, and you can see who is responsible. Now we come to the combination or the connection between our technical assets and our business terms, and this is called semantic. So I will switch this, and now you can see a picture. I will make it big, exactly, and scroll in. We have here our enterprise glossary with our customer, where we are actually in, and can see there's a relation to another term, Platinum Custer, and we have relations, these are the blue dotted lines, to technical terms. So someone has already assigned this table has something to do with customer. So we have a semantic lineage now. So if I click on the customer, I can see there is a definition for customer, I can look into it. The black lines are the harvested, the lineage between the systems. Okay, so, and I can see, okay, we have a Qlik Sense server here. What a surprise. And here I can see, okay, we have a customer number. And I can also say, please focus on this path, and can see what now, how's the flow of the customer number. Yeah, you can also do something like highlight path, and you can see where it comes from, where it goes to. This is the lineage and impact analysis. You can do it from every situation where you are. You can click on the focus on path and can see the lineage. And we can see there's a snowflake fields in the Qlik Sense server. So I can do a double click here and go to the data flow. I change this because I like it more. And make everything open. I can now see what kind of data is running from to these fields. Here you can see this is where I am. And here you can, for example, see when I say highlight path, where is in this sheet the customer name is coming from, and how does it change in my whole system? Starting with company, and in my data warehouse, they change the name to company name. And then they leave it, for example. So you can see the lineage. Okay, I know everything comes from my Snowflake data warehouse, obviously. So I can click here, and now I want to go away from the business perspective and look into the data. So here I have the information about my customer table in the Snowflake. You get also here some profiling information out of the box. We can get some column statistics, we can see what is the primary key, we can see the data type. We have data classifications, for example, so this is done automatically. If I harvest the data, we can define what kind of data classifications do I have. Yeah? PII and all this stuff is built in, but you can add your own. We have sensitivity labels, and we can provide sample data, depending on the role and your rights. So you can say, please harvest some sample data so that my employees can see some sample data, but sometimes specific organizations or departments are not allowed to see. So we have a role system. It's like a song. Okay, again, the same overview with the documentation, with the collections, all the stuff. And you can dig into the data, so we can see here data samples also for the whole table. I can click on it and you can see the whole table. I'm administrator, so I can see everything. But you can see here, there's sensitivity labels set up. So if the person does not have the correct rights, he cannot see anything here. And I can also dig into phone number, for example, and then you get profiling information with a histogram, patterns, frequency, some profiling statistic. This is all depending on the connection I have. Not every database or every system provides this information, so you have to look into the documentation. If the bridge, this is our connector, we call it bridge, is able to collect profiling information. So, but from classical databases, normally yes. And what I see here is, oh, there's an association. And there's a semantic flow here also. So I click on it, And when I click on the diagram, I can see there is a company policy associated with this term. In this case, this is a data quality rule. So what the catalog has now set up is we have policies in our company with quality rules which should be established. I can click on this policy rule here, can see, okay, this is the description. In this case, I think it should be an international standard for my phone numbers. So you can see there are policies set up, but not technically. It's just a description, yeah, for documentation. And I go back here. When I look at the data, when I go to data sample, you can see that the phone number is not very well. So at the end, I have to change it. So this was a very, very quick dive through the catalog from Talend, Qlik Talend. Yeah. Gary mentioned we have also a Qlik catalog in the cloud. We talk about this, I will say, on the roadmap session also, because there are changes. This is a standalone product, was sold by Talend, is now sold by Qlik, because this is an enterprise catalog which goes above our ecosystem. Yeah, you can set this up and can harvest everything. Okay, everything we support. So, questions? Yes.
So here we see and image the data that we created using Talend Studio.
No.
What exactly was it?
This is the data in your database.
Yes, but what did you use for the Talend Studio?
The Talend Studio, I switched the persona now. Yeah, I was in the data quality part and doing the profiling there, and now I'm a I would say employee and working with the catalog. And I wanted to search for something.
Yes, but how will you create this?
How do I get this data? Yes, this is okay. This is through our bridges, we call it. So when you set up the data catalog, you can set up a connection to your source or target systems or ETL processes or BI systems. For this, you set up a bridge. This bridge has to be configured, yeah, with a username, password to the database, and then you say sampling, profiling.
So Talend Studio is a standalone product?
Yeah, Catalog is a standalone product. Talend Studio is part of Talend Data Fabric, which includes Qlik Talend Cloud, management and all the stuff, but I don't want to show the whole because I only have 45 minutes. Okay?
What bridges do you have to other ETLs?
Oh, I have to look. Firstly, yes, we have Talend. Then we have, I don't like to say the name, Informatica. And SQL and another. We have to look. It depends. There are over 280 bridges. And now a fun fact, because we are now on a Qlik, Informatica is using the same bridges in the background. So if we do not can connect, Informatica can also connect. Just a hint. Okay. Another question?
No, just I wanted if Spark code.
Spark. I can look afterwards. I have to look into this. Too many. I have not all in mind. Spark code. Yeah. Okay. We can have a look. Another question. Okay. That's good. Where I am. I was data governance. Yeah, showing data lineage, understanding the data and the correlations between this data, the associations between business terms and technical assets, and how to explore and find data. You can do a lot more, but this will an own session. And finally, I don't know what's the time. Oh my goodness. Whew. Yeah, finally I will go to data quality. And for this I have to be short. And I do it very short, because what you can do here, we can also connect our tools together. In this case, I'm in the data catalog. I saw there's a quality rule on my I would say, phone number, for example. I have a connection to data preparation. So what happens now is, in data preparation, and I think for this I need at least 10 minutes, but we will see. If someone tells me stop, then I will stop. This is data preparation, our SaaS service. This is a tool more for non-technical guys. This is the reason why it looks like a little bit Excel. Yeah? Everybody knows about Excel. We have our headers, and we have on the bottom semantic types. So Talend or Qlik Talend has a repository of semantic types, and you can add your own based on dictionaries, regex, whatever. And if data is coming in, it automatically tries to find out what kind of semantic type do I have. In this case, for example, when I click here, you can see what kind of probability it's an airport code. So it's 80%. So he decided to go with country code, ISO 3. And based on this semantic type, you have this quality bar automatically set up. So he checks the data against the semantic type and see we have a lot of invalid values and we have a lot of valid values. And me as a data preparation specialist now can clean the data. So in this case, country, I click on country, you can see here, for example, we have also profiling informations, yeah, again, and every step you can see some profiling informations. But focusing on cleansing the data is that data preparation provides you a lot of functions on the right to clean the data. In this case, I want to convert the country names and codes, and I want to convert from the country name to ISO 3. And I click on Submit. What happens now is he converts the data. We have still some invalid values here. This is because there are white spaces in there. I can remove this also if I want to. And so on and so on. And the fun fact is every step I'm doing is stored here on the left side as a recept. This recept, because of the time, I will not do it now, but I can show it afterwards if someone is interested in. This recept, first of all, will be executed if I click here on Run. This is a beta feature. I can run this and execute this preparation directly on my Snowflake instance, for example. And then I will clean the data in Snowflake directly based on this recept I create. I can store it locally as an Excel file, or I can give it to my data management specialist here, and closing all because it does not look nice. Let me show you. It's so small. I need to better. There. We have components for this. This component is called tDataPrep_run. So the fun fact is, as we started with this, we want to have data quality is a team sport. Yeah? The data integration specialist is not every time the best person to clean the data, because you should ask the people who are working with this data. Yeah? One example, format of the date. Yeah? Someone has a German format, someone has American, you can switch it, whatever. Sometimes you have a mess up in your databases. So give this data to your department who is working with this data. Yeah? Before you build a data mart, for example, for finance, ask finance, how should the data look like? The format, how should it look like? Give examples to them, they prepare it, make a recept, and if new data is coming, I can execute this recept against this data and it will be automatically formatted. We also have components here in data quality to do it in your jobs with a little bit more functionalities, but why not ask the people who are working with this data? Give it to them and let them clean it, I would say.